one chat at a time.
Today we're chatting with the wonderful China Moses, talking all things music.
So please like, comment and share with your friends and family, and hope you enjoy. Hi China, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I am doing well, ladies. I'm alive and in good health, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, definitely.
100%, especially in these times.
Yeah.
We're going to get straight into it. We'd love to know your earliest musical memory.
Well, they kind of all mash together. So I think my earliest clear memory was actually getting up on stage. I mean, music has been around me, the arts. I grew up in an artistic family, so music and the arts is just part of our DNA.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I got up on stage, I had to be no more than 8 years old, and I sang completely out of key, but I had the rhythm. And so my mother didn't disown me. Which was great to not be disowned at 8 when she brings you up on stage to sing. It don't mean a thing. You know? I still have that recording. Actually, somebody gave me the recording. So
amazing.
Me hearing it's a really great souvenir to have, and to hear your child eagerness like that in that way, and joy. You know, so it's something that I treasure.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you've just mentioned about your musical family. Your mum is Dee Dee Bridgewater, dad Gilbert Moses.
Yes.
So being around those creatives and performers, what was that like growing up in that environment?
So growing up with parents like that, it made me think that all adults were eccentric and sensitive and knew how to express themselves. And so I think I grew up with a kind of honest vision, or at least an honest sense of what being an artist is, you know, the passion it takes, and the personalities, and the perseverance, and the freedom to be yourself, but also seeing adults always trying to redefine themselves continuously through their work, whether it was choreography and dance or music or theater. Growing up with people like that, it makes the world a little bit kinder.
Yeah, it sounds just kind of beautiful. It must have been weird for you when, I suppose you must have had moments where that kind of bubble was broken and you realised things aren't quite as glorious as what you thought.
You know, when you grow up within a tribe of emotional translators, you can find that communication with people who did not grow up in that same type of environment where you're free to speak, kind of. You can find people guarded, you know, and you're like, I don't understand why just tell me, you know. And I'm very open with everything, you know, in my life and stuff. And you know, some people don't even like to say that they've had their heart broken. I've been like, I've had my heart broken. I've been cheated on, and you know what? Here's a song. You know,
we hear you on that one.
So it's I find it really like human and really real. It's raw. You know. So and also I went straight into a musical career at the age of 16. So I've been in this world of arts and entertainment my whole life. Are there cruel aspects to it? Of course. Life isn't fair, you know? And life don't owe you nothing. You know? So it's like you gotta
do your thing. Do your thing.
So seeing a lot of very hyper talented people sometimes fail, sometimes not get the break, sometimes make it, sometimes be awarded, be gossiped about, you know, badly or positively. Like living in that adult environment, it kind of made me want to spend my life trying my best to accept humans as humans.
That's such a great outlook to have.
Great philosophy.
Yeah, it really is. It's nice.
It's taken a while. It's taken a while, but the thing is I think the pandemic kind of helped me, and where I'm at in my life, just realize, you know, I make music for myself. I make it for healing. I make it to share. I figure that if I'm feeling like this, there's got to be at least 5 other people who are feeling like this too. So, you know, you have to, I do it also for my personal, my personal pleasure, my ego of having an idea and bringing it to completion, you know, all those things that are little victories for yourself. And then once you put it out, you know, it's not yours anymore and it finds a home. I found it during the pandemic that it was really important to confirm that, you know, artists matter too. And just because we may be unconventional or, you know, live outside of society's hours and stuff like that doesn't make us unnormal. We're just another facet of the multifaceted ways that humans can be. And to be okay with that, well, that's something new for me. Like, you know, people like ask me for a meeting at 9 a.m. No, not gonna happen. Why? Exactly. Because I have no reason to be up at 9.
No, I feel
love that.
And I probably went to bed at 6. Being honest about that. Being honest about that is I find really, really comforting. And once I got confronted to a world where people did not have the freedom to be completely honest, like the corporate world and everything like that, I just want to give everybody a hug. I know we can't all live on the funky side and we're not all made for it. But I feel for y'all because my life is fun.
It looks it.
It looks very fun. Talking about the fun,
it is.
We want to talk about what you've done because you've made so many albums, and some of which have been released with Warner Music France. So one of them is actually fully French. So what are your connections with France?
I grew up in France. I was raised in France. I got there when I was 8. My mom brought me there with my older sister. So I signed with Virgin Records when I was 16 in France. And I did 3 albums with them, singing predominantly in French. I did like pop, R&B, trip hop, whatever I wanted actually. None of the albums worked, you know, commercially, but I had fun.
Amazing.
And doing music on the record company's dime, you know, it's funny. A lot of people always get like, you always hear this like really horrible, sad story about record companies. And for artists like me who don't really sell records, when you're signed to a major label and your album doesn't get shelved, that's heartbreaking. But I basically explored my musical identity on somebody else's dime.
That is, I mean, it's a dream, really, isn't it? When you put it like that.
And, you know, 20 years later, I finally paid them back for all the money that they lost and invested in me and stuff. But did I have fun? Hell the fuck yeah.
Yes.
And of course, I've had disheartening experiences. I've had crushing, ego crushing, heart crushing, emotionally crushing experiences. Is it their fault? Nah, not really. It's kind of the world. The world kind of sucks in that way. You know, we all, no matter what field we are, we're gonna hit that wall. At one point in your life. So when you look back at when you hit that wall, you can either go, oh, the whole industry is shit. I mean, it is based off of exploitation of artists. Yes, it's shit in that sense. Did I not benefit from the system? Completely. Did I win? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Am I still here? Did it disgust me to keep me from not doing music? Of course not.
It's such a good mentality. It's the kind of, then you can always progress because you're accepting of whatever comes in front of you, whatever challenges you face. And it's just nice.
And I think what I get that from growing up with watching all of these incredible people around me make it, fail, rebuild. I know there's no career that is an overnight success, and there's no career that stays a success forever.
No.
What goes up must come down.
Yeah,
you know, everybody got their moments.
It's very true.
And not everybody's 100% creative all the time. We don't always, I mean, there's some songs I listen back to and I cringe. I'm like, oh my God. I'll speak to my mom about it. She was like, yeah, I never understood that one. That always eluded me. Yeah, it's like when I was 17, I thought it was so badass. And, now 20 years down the line, I'm like, really? That's what you were thinking about. This is what you went for. Like,
yeah. I mean, your albums, they're so diverse in the sound world. How do you feel like your sound and your artistry has developed over time?
Just by searching and just by who I work with.
Yeah, so influenced by that.
My sound is my voice. Yeah. That's my instrument. And I pretty much sound the same, except a lot lower.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I started out singing really high.
Yeah.
And I would say that I've just liked all things, Black American music. The heritage is wide and large. If you really love music, and you're a soloist, it's hard to contain yourself in one spot.
Yeah.
Oh, completely.
My sound is really truly defined by the people I choose to work with. Yeah. Whoever is the team for that album, it's going to design a certain sound.
Yeah.
And I used to try to go against that. I've had a lot of people tell me, just pick a freaking lane and stay in it.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the more I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I love
y'all might be getting the jazz ballad back with a house track on the same project.
Yeah.
It's
kind of overwhelming when you sit at the front of the door and you're kind of like, whoa, this could go anywhere. It's amazing. But let's talk about your Made in China productions, because that's another thing you've been doing. So how was that? How did that come around?
Well, once Virgin Records gave me back my contract because I wasn't making numbers for them, I stopped doing music for a year, and then I got invited to do this project, create this show around Dinah Washington, a words and music show that ended up becoming an album.
Yeah.
And how the album got made was I did a live performance on this national station in France called TSF Jazz that I have a show on. I have a show since 6 years.
Amazing.
And so it was broadcast live, and this A&R cat that, I grew up with in the industry leaves me the most industry voicemail ever. Hi, China. This is Jean-Claude. What did he say? He said, hi, China, this is Jean-Claude. I want to help you make money with music. Give me a call back. I got an idea. And I was like, that was an industry voice. And I wish I had kept it, because I'm really friends with this guy and he's really been wonderful with me. But he was right. He sat me down and he was like, listen, he's like, the project that you did live, he's like, it's an album, and it's an album from Blue Note France. I need for you to make your own company. I'm going to show you how to set it up. We're going to do this, that. You're going to record. He's like, he's like, I have the studio. I got the sound engineer. Here's what it costs. 3 days in the studio, record it, mix it down, send it to this A&R guy.
Wow.
Like, I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that's also a really important thing. Do not burn any bridges.
Yeah.
I mean, unless the person killed your cat, whatever argument you had 10 years ago is invalid 10 years later.
Yeah.
And we all grow and evolve and everything like that. I mean, I never had an argument with this guy. He's always been like, but I hadn't spoken to him like in 5 years. I don't know. He still had my telephone number. And here he is, head A&R of EMI. Like, I'm going to show you how to make money. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. I sent the record in. The record's called This One's for Dinah. I sent it in to the A&R of Blue Note France. He calls me back. He's like, listen, I was surprised. He's like, I've never been a fan of your voice. He's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see what people get about you.
Wow.
He was like, but you captured something on. I've sat straight faced and had people tell me really horrible things, but that's the whole other story.
Yeah.
But that didn't it doesn't give me full nightmares. Of course, I'm sad about it and I'll think about it for a while. But when I think of those moments when somebody said something that was harsh to me and what that relationship became or what happened to that relationship to that person, most of the time those people are some of my most trusted counselors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No,
because if somebody could sit straight faced and just tear you down, like,
yeah,
and be like, but you captured something really special on this record and we want to put it out. He's like, I'm proposing a license deal, just a one-off. We don't want any options. We just want this project just to get you on the road, because we think that if you get on the road, you'll finally have the career that you deserve. And all of these people were right.
amazing.
I love that. Thanks to record company people being hardcore to me.
Yeah.
And me being able to take it.
Gives us hope, doesn't it?
Give us hope. Many of our viewers will know you on your show on Jazz FM, Late Night China Moses. What would you say is your most favourite thing about radio or working in radio?
Just knowing that you're reaching somebody. Radio is a very interesting thing now that everybody has so much choice to choose the music that they want to listen to with all the streaming services. Radio is kind of like a rebel to do radio. It's like, I'm gonna take away the control of you being able to choose what you're gonna listen to, and you're gonna have to trust me and let me take you on a ride. I was like, can I play only 30% dead people? Like, I want 70% of my playlist to be alive. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And
amazing.
So now what the show has become, it's become a beautiful entry point for artists that wouldn't normally get played on Jazz FM. It's also kind of like the space where we play like all the alternative R&B and like the sonic, ethereal groovy stuff and everything. Cause it's like, where do you put that in daytime? You can't really throw that in.
Yeah.
But at nighttime,
when you come out to play.
Let me put on some lo-fi beats, for you guys. It's late night. So I find it really joyful. I love the people who dare to write back to me. I keep on asking people, and be like, hit me up on Twitter, because when I'm doing the show or I'm sitting there, I'm not doing nothing. I can conversate all day, and I love debates, like who did it best or stuff like that. No, it's being part of a family and being part of a community.
Talking of radio and playing all different styles of music, we've heard so much diversity in your stuff already. What can we expect next? Is there something in the pipeline?
Before the end of the summer, I'm releasing an EP called The Vibe Tribe. And the Vibe Tribe was my live band for, I would say, the last 5 years of my musical life. And in 2018, I'd completely forgotten I had done the session. Don't ask me how, but in 2018, fresh off the road, I threw the guys into the studio. We recorded the songs from my Night and Tales project, but how we play them live, which is completely different from the album. And that's why most of the times on that particular album, the songs are really short, because I wanted to leave space for reinterpretation on stage. The album was more just like, here's the song, here's the story. On stage, a song that's 3 minutes on the album is like 10 minutes long on stage. We take it to beautiful places. And all of a sudden, I had this incredible band, and I wanted to capture that moment. I have a really strong faith in the musician network. I have a really strong faith that your next project is probably gonna come from that random hang at the bar after.
Yeah, that's so important.
It's massive.
Or going over to somebody's house who's never been to, it's really important. And so for the new album will be only in 2022, since I'm going to release that EP. I also have a live album with the Metropole Orchestra Big Band.
Oh, amazing. Cool.
Yeah. So we did Night and Tales and some new tunes.
Yeah.
But it's I'm here for the service of the story of the lyric.
Yeah.
And I want to make timeless music. I'm not trying to make something that people hear once and they're just like, oh, that's cool for that moment. I want people to be able to come back to my music. And it's taken me a while to like fully admit this. I am really trying to define the sound around my voice, how I want that to sound. and I don't want to sound like everybody else.
No.
Yeah.
I
don't want my music to sound like, I want people to hear my voice and be like, oh, we know who that is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's taken me a while.
Yeah.
Because I've never really fit in vocally.
Right.
To any type of genre that I've done.
Yeah.
I can do a lot of genres because it's all within me. It's all within me.
Yeah.
It's all that I grew up with. But I never sound like, you know, the pop singer or the jazz singer or the funk singer. It's like, I'm like, gosh, I can't win. So if I can't sound like that typecast singer, I guess I might as well just try to sound like myself.
It's so refreshing to hear that.
I find it's really important for vocalists to have this conversation, because right now we are in the acrobatic demonstrative phase of music.
Yeah.
We have multi-instrumentalists, people who can sing underwater, do backflips, and play the accordion and the harp. Okay, yes, okay. But I really defend and stand behind completely is if you are not moved to your core when you are singing a song, then you ain't singing it right. So somebody for me like Michelle Ndegeoshlo vocally is just as important as, you know, somebody like Diane Reeves or my mom, Dee Dee Bridgewater. And it's total extremes, but those voices are beautiful. So it's like honing and finding for all vocalists. It's about finding what makes you different, not makes you stick in. You want to stick out.
Throughout your career, what do you think has been the best advice you've been given?
I was told when I was 16 and I was crying because I heard a cassette of my mom at 16 and she was phenomenal at 16. And I was crying and my mom looked at me and she said, listen, you are not me. You'll never be me. And I don't want you to be me. You're going to have to do the best you can with what you have.
When you write songs, do you start lyrically? Do you start with harmony? How does it all come about?
Most of the time it's like just like a little melody and a couple of words.
Yeah.
And a bass line. I always hear bass lines first. And I just sing them into my phone. And then I have
voice memos.
Either voice memos, I got so many. And then either I try to work it out, like work out my little bass line on the piano, and I send that over to somebody like Ollie Rockberger, and then he proposes like different chord progressions on that thing. Like they remix. Basically everybody around me remixes my idea. Like I'm like, I hear this, and I'm like, what are my options? You know, because you got to have talented people around you. So I got talented people that I can call and be like, yo, I got this melody. Here's the bass line. So that's pretty much almost the root in there.
Yeah, of course.
Give me some options.
It makes sense. If someone's amazing at the piano and you've got your idea, it would make sense for them to put their amazing talent on it rather than hone them in and be like, this is what do you know what I mean? Yeah.
For me personally, it is not a joy making music by myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what's the point? Participating in artistic freedom and art with intention for me is an honor in my life if I do anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so nice. Honestly, we could talk for hours with you.
I know. I'm sorry.
Really, really
ramble, ladies.
No,
I'm so sorry.
No, it's been amazing. Honestly, got one last question. If we were to look on a device of yours or your record player, what's the last album that you listened to?
Ayeli Manzanza's Crisis.
Oh, okay. I need to check this out.
Yeah.
Mayeli Manzanza, he is a drummer from New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was one of the co-founders of this band called Electric Wire Hustle that I was obsessed with about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is his new project, Crisis and Opportunity. So he's a full composer. So it's composed by him.
Nice.
Ashley Henry on piano, trumpet, James Copus, George Crawley, saxophone, Benjamin Moralt on bass, and Mark DeClive Lowe on synths.
Nice.
And it's kind of like his inspiration of what he got from the London scene when he got here.
Okay. Nice.
You know. Yeah, that's what
Brilliant.
I was listening to.
We'll have to have a listen.
We just did a song for his next album, and he's just, he's he's just a really cool cat. So I'm glad to get to know him a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, definitely check out.
100%.
So thank you.
Well, thank you so much again. Honestly, it's been
amazing.
Fab speaking to you.
It's been wonderful speaking to you two ladies.
And we really,
and
really
I wish we could do this in person.
I know.
So do we.
Hopefully one day.
One day we'll have that drink.
One day we will have. It's on me. First round's on me, ladies.
Okay. The next 10's on us.
Yeah. Calm it down.
10 only?
Yeah, easy.
But ladies, thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you again.
Thank you.